Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Hayes and you're watching video 2.6 Key Features of Functions Day 1. So the way I would use this first page of notes is to look at them as vocabulary words but try to picture everything as you're doing questions and these words come up. By the end of this page, it should look like this. I've highlighted important words, made connections along the way, I've shown little pictures of things, I have tried to understand the concept by sketching them out. I'll do a few with you. So the first word is maximum, and the second word is minimum. Maximum is the highest value that a graph can reach, and minimum is the lowest value. It can be a dip in a graph, or it can go off to like negative infinity. And these are y values. Domain and range are the next two words. Domain is the x values that a graph uses, so you're looking in the x direction from left to right, and range is the y values that is used by a graph, or that are used by a graph, and you're looking from low to high when you consider range, from low down at the bottom up to high. Range is y. Increasing and decreasing have to do with slope, positive slope, negative slope. So I picture a line that goes up and a line that goes down. Turning point. That's where a graph changes from increasing to decreasing. So it could reach a maximum point, or from decreasing, going downhill, to going uphill, so it reaches a dip or a low point. So the turning point is this point that I've shown in the picture. A y-intercept is where a graph crosses the y-axis. So if you draw your x and y axes, an x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So if you drew this little shape, these would be the points that cross the x-axis. Zeros, x-intercepts, that's the x value of the x-intercept. So whatever that x value was right there. So you see what I'm doing, just draw little pictures to help you remember these things. Slope and rate of change over here, I think you recognize from last year, it's a ratio of the horizontal change, or vertical change to the horizontal change. I always think y minus y over x minus x, change in y over change in x. And linear, nonlinear, axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is a line that cuts a graph right down the middle. It's an axis line, a vertical line usually. End behavior, that's what the tails of the graph are doing. So like these tails are both shooting off to positive infinity. And asymptote is a line that a graph approaches but never touches. That becomes more important in a future unit, but that would be like this dotted line here, showing that the graph is getting closer and closer but never touching. Interval notation, this is a review. Parentheses are like the open circle. Same with these inequality symbols without the equal to signs, don't include. And then brackets are included, like a closed circle. Same with these symbols over here. It means include. Infinity always has parentheses. And then here's a good picture for you to help you remember domain and range. Domain is the yellow spots from left to right, the left part of the graph to the right part of the graph. And range is from low to high. X-intercepts, y-intercepts, maximums, minimums, and so on. All right, second page of notes. Answer the following questions based on the function, and it's already been done for you. I'm just going to show you on the graph. Every x value has one y value. That's just the definition of a function. You could also say, if I drew a vertical line, it passes the vertical line test. Anywhere you draw a vertical line, it's going to pass. Maximum value is 4 because the highest this graph goes up to is 4. That's a y value. The minimum value is -4. The lowest it goes down here is -4. If you then look at the range, I'm going to skip down to here. Notice that the range is from low to high, -4 to 4. Then we're going to look at the domain. That's from left to right. So we are including the left -5, and we are not including, there's an open circle there, not including 5. So that's left to right. Inequality notation, this says the exact same thing that that said. Notice the symbols. And then inequality notation down here I missed for the range. Notice the symbols, they agree with the brackets. After E, it goes up to F. What's the y-intercept? You should see that pretty easily right here at -1. Turning points are these bumps. There's 3 of them. I labeled the coordinates for you. M of 2 means when x equals 2, what is y? And it is 3. If you look at the graph, it's this point right here. M of -4, look at the graph, you'll see that the value is 2. It's a y value again. And then I drew a line in at -4, or I will anyways, to see that that value happened at -5. That was an x value. It wanted the x value. It gave you the y value. And then they gave you some intervals of increase and decrease. Look at where the graph is increasing. I'm going to highlight in red. Increasing, increasing, and decreasing in green. And you'll see those intervals. One thing to note is that these are x values. You are looking in this direction when you come up with these intervals. All right, let's do one. In exercise 2, we have to answer all the same questions. So how do you know this is a function? Each x has only one y. What's the maximum? Highest point it attains, 1, 2, 3, 4. Highest value is 4. What's the minimum? It's got an arrow shooting down to -infinity. What's the domain? In interval notation, so we're starting here. We're going to, since this keeps going down, it also keeps going to this direction. So it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5 with a parenthesis because I saw an open circle. And it goes to infinity in the positive direction. What's the range? I'm going to look at the maximum and minimum to help me write my range. It wants an inequality, so y is between, oh, wait a minute, y is greater than, oh, stop, let me think about this for one. Okay, I had to think about that because I had looked back, I had made a mistake on an answer key and I was confusing myself. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, so the range is the highest value up here was 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The maximum was 4. And then it goes down to -infinity. So I'm going to say y is less than or equal to 4. It's everything below 4. What are the turning points? So let's look for those turning points. Here's a dip at 0, -3. 0, -3. And there's another turn over here at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. So turning points are bumps, valleys, those kind of points. After F, it goes up here to G. What are the y-intercepts? There's only one right here, and that is at 0, -3. The x-intercepts are at this one in blue right here is -1, 0. Another one at 1, 0, and another one at 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. You can tell I lost my voice a little bit this weekend. I was screaming at a soccer game, so sorry about the voice. H of -5 means when x is -5. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. Y is not there. It's a hole. So we're going to say undefined. It looks like it wants to be 1, but it doesn't reach it. Find all values when the function is equal to 0. Those happen to be these values because it means y equals 0. So I'm going to say x equals -1, x equals 1, and x equals 4. Read that question again. Make sure you see what I'm saying here. It's also looking at this line right here. That line. Where does the function hit that line? What's the vocab word that answers part I above these x values when the y is 0? I think they're called zeros. Look back at your vocab. All right, I need an interval where the function is increasing, decreasing. Circle the one that applies. So they gave us the interval. Let's look from -5 to 3. These are x's. that I'm looking at. From -5 to 3, I'll use my red pen. From -5 to, wait, to -3, I think? Yes, okay, cool. To -1, 2, 3, right here. The graph was headed downhill, so that was decreasing. It was going downhill. Let's look at 0 to 2. 0 to 2, as I follow my graph, I'm going uphill. And so since it was going uphill, I'm going to say it was increasing. Decreasing, increasing. From -3 to 0, I'm going to use my purple pen. 1, 2, -3 to 0. The graph goes down and then down some more. So I would say since it goes down and then down some more, it's decreasing. And then from 3 to 4.5, 1, 2, 3. This graph is here, and to 4.5, it is definitely decreasing. It is going downhill. All right, that's about it for this video. Thank you for joining me.